Welcome to you. My name is Jim. I am the vicar here, believe it or not. And this morning, we just are looking at part 2 of our vision series. It's our 8th birthday. We've been here for 8 years. Various things have happened. All kinds of lives and communities have been transformed, not just as a result of kind of what we've done as a church planting, but actually because of each and every single person, from the youngest through to the oldest, has been playing their part. Now, we stood here at the beginning of 2022 as we entered this 8th year and said we had a real challenge for us as a church, that we had this vision to continue seeing lives and communities transformed through everything that we do here. But actually, we were facing a slight challenge of needing £70,000 just to make all that possible. We'd moved into a new building, COVID had hit, we all know the cost of living, and so we had a real challenge on our hands. And so we prayed for 70 days, and we prayed. And as I stand here today, we're looking roughly at about a deficit, an additional 25,000 that we need to find, which is incredible to see how that's come down from 70 to 25. We don't talk about giving regularly, we don't talk about money regularly, we just do it twice a day. So if it's your twice a year, wow. Twice a year. So if it's your first time here, if you're a guest here, if it's your first time here, this is just kind of what we sometimes talk about, but please don't think this is about getting money out of you the minute you walk through the door. That isn't. We just want you to come and enjoy the space and the hospitality. So that's kind of what we're looking at this one. How do we all give? How do we play our part in order that people's lives and communities would be transformed? We talk here about what does it mean to belong. It means we join, it means we pray, it means we serve, and it means we give. And in this story, I'm feeling very barricaded by this table. In this story, the master has laid on this banquet. He's laid on this amazing banquet. Like, think of the best food you've ever eaten and then multiply it. He's laid on a banquet. And once he's ready, he says to his servants, he says, go out and invite people to come and to feast. Now, before people came, there'd have been loads and loads of work to get the banquet ready. So I wonder at home, how many of you have the job of laying the table? How many of you are responsible for laying the table? Anyone over here? Few people over here. How many? Yeah. How many of you are responsible for helping with the food? Like helping cook, helping get it ready? Stick your hand up if that tends to be you. How many of you help with the shopping? Like you go shopping to get the food ready? How many of you make sure like the table's ready and the chairs are where they need to be and like the whole place is tidy and ready to eat? How many of you play a part in that? Quite a lot of us. The job of those helping the master, the job of the servants in this passage, they helped the master, was to make sure that everything was ready. But also to make sure that everything that they got ready, the feast they were setting up, reflected the values, reflected the character, reflected the love and generosity of the host himself. You see, you can prepare a table in the name of the master without it really reflecting the master's hospitality. So I don't know what this is, some old curtain or something. So I'm just going to, can you just come and help me, Crady? Just stick that on, just roughly, just stick it on. That'll do, won't it? Okay, stay there, because I've got another job for you. So you can prepare a table without it really reflecting the master's hospitality. You can lay the table. I've got some cutlery, just some old plastic thing, that'll do. Can you just stick that on the table for me? Brilliant, just anywhere will do. You can lay the table without it fully reflecting the master's care. You can provide the food, bacon sizzlers, ridged. I hate them, they're absolutely disgusting. We'll get those ready for, no, if you just open it up, because, that's it, just open it up. Can you do that? Brilliant. Just throw 3 onto the table. It doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, great, thanks, great. That's fine, thank you for that. I'll leave that there. You can prepare, in fact, do you want to just stick that on there as well? Yeah, anyway, I'll do, just bang it on. Yeah, all right. You can prepare some food without it fully reflecting the master's love and care. You can provide some drink. Jack, is that leftover? Oh, that'll do. Just stick that on the table as well. You can prepare some drink without it really reflecting the master's abundant generosity. So there we go. Me and Karady have worked hard. We've laid a table, served some food. The feast is ready. Do you fancy it? Not really, no. Well, we've done our bit, we've laid the table, it's all ready, but it doesn't really reflect the character and the values of the host. It doesn't really come across that someone cares that God has lavished his love on that. So we're just going to try something else as well. So do you want to let's get rid of this. And do you want to pick up that white cloth there? And let's get that out really nicely on here. Let's lay the table. That's it. Brilliant. That's it. Let's stick it on nice and straight. There we go, Karady. Very good. Make sure there's no creases. That's it. Have you got an iron? Why not? Oh, I didn't tell you to. You're right. You see, you can prepare a table in the name of the master so that it reflects a care and a generosity and a hospitality. You can lay the table. I'll tell you what, let's go for silver cutlery here. Okay, can you lay a place at the table? Nice and neat. Brilliant. There we go, look at that. Brilliant. You can lay the table so that it reflects the master's care and only has the best out. You can serve the food. I'm actually going to go for, I quite like these. These are my new favourite, Thai sweet chicken. So they're my favourite. And I'll tell you what, let's go all out and let's put them in a bowl. Can you do that? In fact, I love them so much that even though it's my last packet of them, I'm going to add these as well for our guests. Brilliant. Oh, crumbs on the table. Can you get the Hoover out? Thank you, Karady. Brilliant. Just stand around this side for me. You can serve the food so it reflects the master's love. In fact, I've got loads of cupcakes here. I'm going to get you a plate. Do you just want to stack them nicely on there for me? It's a nice plate, that, isn't it? It's worth a fortune. I said, do you just want to arrange those on there? You can serve the food so that it reflects the master's love. And you can serve a really nice drink and pour it out. Do you want some? Later, like 10 years later. You can serve the drink so that it reflects the master's abundant generosity. So there we go. We've done our best. We've laid the table as best we know how. We've taken care to serve the food well. We've made sure there's a really nice drink. And all this gets much closer. Are you after a cupcake? Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we are. There we go. This gets much closer to the values of my master. It shows much more what he's like. And here's the thing. You see, none of this was mine anyway. I went and got it all out of the store cupboard. You see, the master provided it. It was all his anyway. And the servants had everything they needed to prepare the feast, to prepare the table. It's all from God. It's all his in the first place. But I do wonder if the servants ever had the temptation ever to go, well, the master actually gave it to me first, so I might just eat it. I might just eat it, and then I might eat some as well. And then whatever's left over, we'll kind of leave for the guests. I wonder if the servants were tempted to do that as they saw all the amazing food laid out. I wonder, as the master was providing the banquet and asking his servants to lay the table, if some servants were tempted to say, this is all just a bit hard work, really, isn't it? I'm just going to test out the chairs, and I'll just sit down, have a rest, and someone else will do this. I'll let someone else do it. I wonder if the servants were tempted to go, hang on, my life's quite busy now. I've got loads of other things I'm meant to be doing. I'm busy with this and that. So if it's okay with you, actually, I really need a drink and I really need some food. So I'm just going to sit down and eat. And I wonder if some servants were tempted to go, well, we're not ready to go out and invite yet. I need to be full up myself. And besides, I need a bit more meaty teaching on how to invite people before I go out there. I wonder if they were ever tempted to forget who the Master was and what he had done firstly for them. You see, I wonder if how well we lay a table for others is directly related to how well we know our Master. How often we sit and feast at our Master's table. How often we respond to his invitation to come and eat. I wonder if the extent to which you and I get involved in laying the table, laying on a feast for others to come and eat, give our time, give our gifts, give our finances, give of ourselves, is related to the extent to which we know Jesus. The extent to which we're fed at the feast laid on by the servant king. I wonder how quickly we forget that we ourselves were amongst those in the alleys and the country lanes and the hedgerows until the Master invited us to come and eat. Thanks, Grady. Just take a seat for a moment. Yeah, you can take a cake. That's fine. And the thing is maybe you look at what you have in your hands. Maybe as you look at the giving cards on your seat, you kind of think, well, it's not a lot, or I can't really fill that much in, or I'm not sure I can afford to give that right now. If I give that, there won't be enough to go round. Well, in this passage, servants is plural. You see, it doesn't all rely on you, but it does rely on all of us. Each one of us playing our part. Each one of us bringing their bit. It just reminds me of a couple of other stories, a couple of other meals that Jesus talked about. There's one where he's at a wedding feast, actually, and the wine runs out. And he says to the servant, just take some water and just pour it into these stone jars, and then just begin pouring it out to the guests. And the servants must be looking at it going, oh, this isn't enough. This isn't going to go around. I'm going to look foolish, like there's not enough here. This isn't good wine to offer around. And yet, Jesus says, don't worry about that. You take what's in your hands, you just pour it out, and you trust me. You see, there's another story as well, where a boy has a packed lunch, 5 loaves and 2 fish. There's a crowd of 5,000 people that need feeding, and the boy could easily look at his packed lunch and go, that's not enough to go around. But what he does is he gives it to Jesus, who breaks it, and you see it multiplies as the bread is broken, and there's enough to go round for everyone else. Broken bread, wine outpoured. The Master has laid on a banquet beyond measure for you and for me. Everything we have is from him anyway. And he asks us in turn to prepare a table, to lay out a feast for others to come and eat. Through Baby Chinos, through Love Your Neighbour, through Alpha, through all the things that we do. And so I think this parable, as well as asking us, are you responding to his invitation, also asks us, how are you using your times, your talents, and your treasure to give back to the one who came, not to be served, but to serve? Amen.